If you're listening to this, chances are you're looking to fasting to improve your health and likely your weight as well. In this week's episode, I'm going to go over my 5 best tips for success in your fasting journey for the new year so that weight loss is never a resolution for you for the rest of your life. Stay tuned. Welcome to the Fasting Focused Lifestyle Podcast, where each week I will be discussing all things fasting and how it can become the most valuable tool in your personal toolkit so that you can live a long, healthy, and meaningful life. I'm your host, Vicki Sharon, and thank you for joining me.
Fargo, the new virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can. In the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Terms and conditions apply. Your mobile carrier's availability and message and data rates may apply. Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
The top 5 things that I would mention, discuss, and talk about to anyone that is wanting to really get the most out of their fasting experience. These are the 5 things that I would absolutely mention with the utmost importance for their journey. And stay tuned to the end because I do have an extra bonus tip that I'm going to put in as well. So the first tip I want to talk about is probably the most meaningful and why I call my business the Fasting Focused Lifestyle. The focus should be on your journey, not the results. And I believe I've had podcast episodes really going into this even further than what I am right now. When we are able to focus on the journey instead of the result and the expectations of what we are wanting out of this process, we become so much more present-minded and aware and truly, really appreciative of what our bodies are capable in this process. And my hope is that you also are coming into this with an open mindset, that you're eager to learn about what your body is truly capable of, what the body is able to achieve in a fasted state, what it's truly like. This is just the way that your body knows how to balance those imbalances, and how I really like to explain that body fat is not anything negative. That's societal attachment that we're told that body fat is a negative thing. Body fat is just an excess of body energy that your body has brilliantly stored aside in your body to use at a later point. And getting into a fasted state, you are conveying to your body that, hey, now is the time I want you to work at chipping away that surplus of stored body energy that we have. And the more that you are able to get into that fasted state to teach your body that habit, the better the journey is going to be. So understanding what that process is, you can go as deep as you want, but I think as long as you have a general idea about the process that's going on and really getting excited as you experience new things, this is going to be something that's really beneficial to your journey. Keep an open mindset, be present-minded as much as possible, and really appreciate and focus on your journey instead of having expectations of what your results can or would be. My second tip would be how I advocate the attention towards consuming real, minimally processed food as much as possible. And I understand with the society that we live in, it's almost impossible to get food that is not at all processed. I understand that. That would be really naive for me to think, oh, we can just have everything non-processed. There's a lot to be learned through your body and experience in this journey. Listening to those bodily pangs throughout this process, coming from your very, very first starting point to, let's say, a few weeks in, and to the point where you become fat adapted into that long-term metabolic switch, you start to notice those bodily changes. Those tastes don't taste the same for the foods that you used to like before fasting. They probably don't taste the same now because your taste buds have changed. You have an appreciation for this real, minimally processed food. And many folks that I have coached and consulted share that same sentiment. The changing of your taste buds through this process is something I hope each one of you takes full advantage of. My hope is that through the conscious choosing of real, minimally processed food, that you get excited, that you get creative, playful, let out your inner child and scientist and creative little inner rogue chef. Get creative, get excited about this food preparation process, because the more you are able to be present in your choices with the purchasing, with the cooking of your food, the easier it's going to be to keep choosing these foods that are extremely beneficial for your body, but that you also feel confident in, that you don't feel as emotionally swayed or emotionally driven to give in to your binge or like craving emotionally your sometimes food. You will start to notice that change and shift in the way that you choose food, in the way that you make food, in the way that you are eating your food. These changes, again, should be slow, should be something that you come into, like I said in the first tip, that you come into with an open mind, that you get excited or curious about what combinations of food you can come up with. Let your inner scientist, your inner Gordon Ramsay, your inner low-level Gordon Ramsay experience, let this playfulness come out in this journey. The third tip I want to talk about is sleep. And according to a PubMed article on sleep deprivation and the effects on weight loss and weight maintenance, they discuss that sleep deprivation is associated with an increased risk of obesity, a poor lipid protein profile, type 2 diabetes, hypertension, and other cardiovascular diseases, and even premature death. They also say that disturbance of the sleep pattern is often associated with long-term unhealthy Western dietary habits. So think about that for a second. If you have poor quality of sleep, your body is not able to fully get a good night's rest in. And as you probably know, while we sleep, your body is still working. It's still, healing, processing, resting. It's got a lot of stuff that it does while we are sleeping. But if you don't allow yourself to get a good quality night's sleep, you will absolutely notice that you don't get as much out of your fasting experience as your intentions may be. And I don't want that for folks. I don't want that for you. So make sure you are able to get a good quality night's sleep in. The fourth tip I want to talk about would be water. Are you drinking enough water? Water obviously is super essential. Our bodies are mostly comprised of water. We have a very high percentage of water in our bodies, and water plays a tremendous and important role, especially in our weight loss efforts. And according to an article on Medical News Today I was looking at earlier, water, in case you didn't know, water is absolutely necessary to burn and mobilize the fat in your body, your stored body fat, your stored body energy. And without adequate levels of water, your body cannot properly metabolize that stored fat. But did you also know that you can get a substantial amount of water intake from the foods that you eat if you're eating water-dense fruits and vegetables that contain a lot of water within them? Another thing I want to remind you of that I like to share with folks that I consult, the recommended amount of fluid to drink each day. Again, it's not going to be a mandatory level, but it's something I would suggest to get close to or in proximity of. So whatever your current body weight is, divided in half, converted to fluid ounces. So what your current weight is, split that in half, and that number in fluid ounces is the amount of water that you should be aiming to consume. But again, remember, this is something that you don't have to consume drinking that entire level. This is also something, like I just mentioned, that you can get good amounts of water from the fruits and vegetables that you are consuming already. Just make sure that if you are consuming caffeinated beverages like tea or coffee that are diuretics, so that water level needs to be replenished. So make sure you are consuming enough water, again, additionally through your food sources as well, to offset and to keep you at a level where you are consuming enough water. My fifth tip that I would recommend to folks would be to integrate a form of meditation that works for you. And the role of meditation in your weight loss efforts can make a tremendous difference. And instead of overcomplicating this process of feeling like it has to have a perfect setting, you have to have this perfect process that you need to make sure you empty your mind and thoughts. You can make a meditative practice work for you no matter what your lifestyle is. You can make almost anything a form of meditation, because when you think about meditation, my hope is that you come into this behavior and habit, routine, ritual for yourself, that you simplify this as much as possible. And really, essentially, meditation comes down to awareness and your breath, and you're focusing the attention on your breath specifically. If you want to get further along into it and get really into it, you can do different types of guided meditations. There's plenty of resources out there. I've advocated for one specifically called Balance that I have links to in my handbook. But really simplifying this process as much as possible is going to be essential. You can do things like body scans where you start at your feet and toes and think about the physical sensations, bringing your attention and awareness on the very fine details within your feet, to your calves, to your knees, to your thighs, to your belly, to your torso, to your upper chest, to your arms, down to your fingers, to your neck, to your face, head, to the top of your head, to your scalp tingling. You can allow that scan and practice that whenever you'd like. You can do it obviously with your eyes open. You can do it while you're driving. You can do it while you're sitting at your desk. The more awareness you can bring to your breath, that's a form of meditation. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to look like anybody else's practice. You can make this habit work for you. And this will absolutely positively influence the success of your weight loss efforts. And my last bonus tip, I kind of hinted at in the beginning part of this episode, but I'm going to lay it out and remind you all again. What I would say is the most important component on your fasting journey is consistency. And I've talked about this before, but I'm going to talk about it briefly again. Showing up for yourself every single day in this journey, no matter what happened the previous day, no matter what's coming down the pipeline. The more consistent you are in your fasting journey, the better your results will be. And that's really it. That's really it. Show up for yourself every single day. Embrace this journey regardless of what the outcome is. Please celebrate the victories, no matter how small and seemingly insignificant they may be. It's a big deal. Savor your journey, but be consistent. Be absolutely consistent and show up for yourself, because you deserve this. Your future self is ready to emerge from within. But keep showing up. Keep being consistent every single day, because you can do this. Please know you can do this. I believe in you, even if you don't. If you are in need of supportive coaching on your fasting journey, I'm here, I care, and I would love to support you on your journey. To book on my calendar and see the current promotions that I have, check out thefastingfocusedlifestyle.com. If you like this episode or have ideas for upcoming podcast episodes, or would like to share your story on how you are a fasting success story to be featured on an episode, please reach out. I would love to feature you on an episode. Vicki, VICKI, at thefastingfocusedlifestyle.com. And as always, I truly thank each and every one of you. Thank you for hanging out with me today. I'm sending you all a big virtual hug. Please take care of yourself. And remember, I believe in you. You can do this. Get your after. Take care of yourself. Bye. The Fasting Focused Lifestyle Podcast. Copyright 2024. The information given within this podcast is not intended or implied to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Please consult your doctor before starting any weight loss method. Thank you.
Hello, Saver. Whether you're saving for that trip to the tropics or saving for an emergency, now is the time to take advantage of Wells Fargo's savings options. Wells Fargo offers savings accounts that can help you save towards your goals. So, what are you saving for? Visit a Wells Fargo branch or wellsfargo.com/save to open a savings account today.
Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
Spin your passion into a business with Shopify and break sales records with the world's best converting checkout. Let's hear that one more time. The world's best converting checkout. Shopify's legendary checkout makes it easier for customers to shop on your website, across social media, and everywhere in between. Now that's music to your ears. Any way you spin it, you can be a smash hit with Shopify. Start your $1 a month trial today at shopify.com/records.